Hello, how are you? I'm in New Jersey, and today I'm recording this video because I want to share with you my experiences from my spiritual journey, rather spiritual part of my journey, which is only a spiritual trip. Now you would say, what's the difference between a regular trip and a spiritual trip? Okay, when you're taking a trip, you have your, you're all prepared. You get your maps, atlas, GPS, smartphone, and you know exactly where you're going. You know your destiny, and you know exactly how you're gonna get there. You're taking Route 6 to 15. You're gonna go by a stream, then by a mountain, and through bridges. You know exactly how you're gonna get there. You may even Google it. Spiritual trip, which I decided to take from Pacific to Atlantic, from Oakland, California, the port of Oakland, to the Atlantic Ocean in Spring Lake, New Jersey. I just knew that much. The next thing that I wanted to see really were the places. I never been to Lake Tahoe. Las Vegas I didn't care for, but it just happened that was on my way. Sedona was definitely the place that I wanted to spend some time, but I didn't know what to expect. I feel energy, so when people telling me it's great energy, yes, sure, I will always go for places where the energy is wonderful, warm and loving, and you just want to be there. It's a healing energy. So yes, I wanted to be there. I wanted to go through Rocky Mountains, to spend some time in Colorado. I really wanted to see Utah's mountains, but was just too much at that point. This was the very first time that I took such a long trip all alone, all by myself. There was not even for a second anybody else in my car. So I was literally one-woman show. I got to take care of, maintaining a car, the gas, the, water for the wipers, I got to think about everything. And then the rest was just left to this, for the spirit to decide where I go or where I stop and what's going to happen. And once you let go of the control of what's going to happen, that's where the spiritual part begins. And I always been good actually with that. And one of the signs is if you take a wrong turn, if you get lost, you're very upset. But I always look at these experiences as something that I'm supposed to see, I'm supposed to experience, I'm supposed to talk to someone, to hear a message, to get the sign, sometimes literally sign. And if I didn't get lost, I would never experience that. So once you start to look from this perspective, the spiritual one, when you get lost next time, it's not going to be painful. In fact, you should be grateful. So once you don't know exactly where you're going, and this was, I didn't get lost. I just kind of knew where I'm going, and the road that would be nicer, like from Lake Tahoe, I got to choose who I go towards Los Angeles or towards Las Vegas. And I decided to take a full desert that I never experienced before. In little doses, but not like this time. When it's nobody on the road, no homes, no trees, no shrubs, no animals or birds. It's nothing. It's just nothing. And on the horizon, beautiful mountains. And the views were so gorgeous that I loved every single second. And I love water. I'm a water sign. I love to be by the water. But I have to say that when you on that really good road, good quality road, and nothing is around, nothing alive, you can experience a full sense of freedom. I always said that someday when I pass to the other dimension, everybody else talking about most likely going to the other side or dying, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be zooming through the universe. Because I love traveling so much. I always said I should be a truck driver or limo driver or something. I love traveling. I love driving. And that's the experience I already got. My wish was fulfilled. I don't have to go to the other side. Already on this one, I was zooming through that desert. And I felt great. Now, when I later talked in Sedona to people, they were like, especially women, shouldn't you be like afraid or concerned? What if something happened to your car? What if something happened to you? I said, yes, that's everybody's choice. You can live in a constant fear and anxiety, worrying already what's going to happen, or you simply have a choice of enjoying your life on a daily basis and expecting the best. That means being an optimist. Okay, and that's who I am. So that's what I chose. Now, I'm not saying jump in a car right now and drive across the country, because that's being irresponsible. Before I left, and I knew I'm going to be driving cross country already on Maui, Hawaii, I took my car for the service, 2,000 miles area, that's okay. And I told them honestly what my plans are. The car needs to be ready, as I am, for driving cross country. Check everything, please. And they did a wonderful work, you know, the rotating tires and the liquids and oils and filters, everything was done. And once I knew my car is ready, I was ready too. So my car went on a ship, Matson, from Kahului, Maui, to Oakland, California. And knowing that the car is there, I flew there. I got my car, met wonderful, wonderful people. What a blessing. Talking about spiritual trip. Pam, if you watching me, you're an angel. Thank you. everything was lined up for me. When something is meant to be, it's gonna be lined up for you. So she's sitting next to me on a plane, and the next thing we know, we're watching a movie together and talking. The trip went just like that, the whole flight. And she asked me, where are you staying? And I said, in this hotel. And she says, that's where I'm staying. My husband will pick me up. Would you like to drive with us? And I said, I would be honored. So we get to the hotel, we have even breakfast together, and they offering me, we would like to take you to Matson Port. And thank God that they did, because if taxi, that would be a disaster. Matson gave me a different address, different destination, different port number than really it was in reality. So they were kind enough and wonderful enough to drive me to a new address, the right one. And once I picked up the car and said goodbye to this wonderful couple, kisses and hugs for you. You're really great. I really appreciate it. That meant so much to me, because also told me, Grace, you're doing the right thing. You're on the right path. Okay, everything is aligned with your project. So I already was confident everything's gonna go just great, and that's exactly what happened. But I remember, different things starting to remember when I was driving, and at some point I got lost. I knew that I should go, I knew the number, and the next thing, something is wrong. I can feel intuitively that something is not right, but I was taken with the beauty of the places that I've been to, that I even didn't care. It doesn't matter if I get lost. I take another road and I get there. Was no time frame really on my trip, so that was the beauty of it, was the experience of every moment that counted the most. And was for me something, learn something new, or something that means something. And here I am, and I said, oh, I would like to have some water, and I always keep the water on the door of my car. And I reach for it, and the water is there. And I'm picking up the water. I said, wait a minute, the water shouldn't be there, because one of the things when you're shipping your car, you have to take everything out. And of course the water was first. Nothing can be in a car inside. So I'm looking at the water. I would never buy this water, this kind of water. And it's brand new, it's not even open. And I'm like, that's a miracle. And I needed that water so much, I was so thirsty. The next thing, I look and I see a beautiful big wall of shrubs, lilac, my favorite for spring, lilac and tulips. And I see this beautiful lilac, huge wall, and very white and very tall, all blooming, beautiful lilac, in a lilac color, lavender. Oh my God, I knew it's gonna be good. That was a good sign. And the next thing I know, I missed my road. So I stopped, I asked, and she said, just go back, and when you see 208, you're gonna be on the right one. You're gonna go straight to Las Vegas. And thank God for that I missed the other road, because this road took me to the road I've been looking for. But that was like in those movies, the cowboys movies, those rocks, the stream, the trees. And I was blessed with a wonderful weather. I mean, it was only one day that was rainy, but only for a while too, or very windy when I was at the Grand Canyon. But the weather was wonderful, and that's the next important thing. It's nice to travel, but once it's warm, and was May, the beginning of May, so everything starts to bloom, sunny, gorgeous, just gorgeous. And I stopped and I took a little video and pictures, because I was totally taken by everything that I've seen, every moment, and boy, I enjoyed every moment of this trip, because that's what this trip was all about. Now, when you're traveling with someone, pay attention to who you travel with. Is this the person that will add the dimension to your trip, make it more meaningful, more spiritual, enriching, or will destroy it? No, I don't want to go there. No, I don't feel like to do this. No, let's keep going. You cannot even explore who you really are and what your personal, individual experience should be. Okay? On the other hand, I always say, when you're just about to get married, or you're thinking about getting married, this is a serious committed relationship, go for a trip like this. Because that's really gonna show you who you're gonna spend your life with. And I'm sorry, I gotta close the window. Yes, I'm sorry. It's Sunday. I would think this is the most peaceful day, that should be the most peaceful day. But after all, this is New Jersey, so everybody is so ambitious, or they're working all week long, and then that Sunday comes and they all starting work physically, which is, my theory is close everything down, okay? And one day a week, just simply breathe, enjoy your home, your family life, you know, acknowledge that you have kids or pets or garden, okay? Or simply you alive, you need to breathe sometimes, but that's spiritual too. That's spiritual too. And everything happens for a reason. And once you look at your life, instead of being aggravated, oh my God, it's gonna ruin. And so you know, I never ever do anything with the videos. It's a raw material. When you're watching my video, it's done from the beginning to the end. Really, a true life story. Is nothing ever redone, you know, changed, cut, no. So, going back to this whole thing, take every day, every moment as it goes. Be with the person if you already have to be with someone, or you are with someone, or you want to test someone before you get married. Because really it's going to show a lot of who they are and if you're good together or not, okay? Just as you're testing your car, the car, before you buy it, okay? The same thing should be with partners, with relationships. Is this for a long haul or no? Only for the good times when everything is fine and dandy, everything goes well, yeah, they with us. When something is not right, they gone or we gone. So that is important. Check the car. Choose your partner or not. If this is your personal, like was for me, personal spiritual trip, to learn something about me, experience, heal, and just let go, then you need to do it by yourself. Somebody would say Las Vegas, how spiritual is that? I have to say it was a very spiritual experience. I was there previously with my son when he was in college, was his spring break, and that was probably 9 years ago. And I like Las Vegas. I like Las Vegas. I like to play from time to time a blackjack. I like the shows, the restaurants. And now was a totally different game altogether, different experience. Literally, I just didn't like Las Vegas at all. In fact, I didn't like Lake Tahoe. And I always wanted to see Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is beautiful. The lake is beautiful. The mountains, and it was snowing previously before me going there. So the mountains look like powdered sugar. Like the powdered sugar just sprinkle over. It was gorgeous. If you go to Grace Carter Maui on YouTube, you may see my trip there. So that was great, but I feel energy, and energy I didn't like at all. In fact, I couldn't wait to get out of there. And why? Most likely because of the casinos. Wherever the casinos are, the energy is not good. And that's what I suspected, but I knew for sure when I got to Las Vegas. I couldn't stand Las Vegas. In fact, I was on the 25th floor in Excalibur, and was great view, but nothing I like, nothing that I like. People standing already with the drinks to get even their room, to check in. Gambling, I try even that. I play the blackjack and see how I feel now. Horrible. I even see those dealers that they don't like what they're doing. Their heart is not there. I look at everything from a totally different perspective. I went to a little place to get something to eat. Now, I'm a vegetarian, okay? I don't drink alcohol. And that was a part of the things that someday I will tell you how I was becoming more and more spiritual, and how I knew with this new paradigm, with this new energy, everything is changing in me. That's the new me. And that food was not good either. Food, that's another story that we're gonna be talking in a second, because that's a biggie, which I didn't actually expect to be, because we have so many places you can choose. No, it was not one place that I would even like to go to. It's not meant for people who eat healthy. Okay. Now, the playing, the drinking, the people playing there, being there, from the energy healer point of view, was actually painful. So much so that before they even opened their businesses in the morning to pick up the car, the valet parking that I check in with, I was already there waiting, fully prepared to travel. That was like maybe 6:30 a.m. And the man comes, the employee, and with this coffee too early, actually, for even opening at 7 o'clock. And he says, what are you doing here at this time? And I said, I'm ready to leave. Okay, I want to just get in my car and keep going. And I got my car, and I was so happy and relieved that I'm leaving Las Vegas. Maybe not you, but I'm talking about my experience. So different than 9 years ago, totally. The more spiritual I am, the less tolerance actually I have for gambling, places like Las Vegas. Not so spiritual whatsoever. And then I knew I'm going to sit down. And boy, talking about different energy. Literally, I knew I'm staying. But the first night was a weekend, so it was tough to find a place. It was Hyatt. I said, okay, oh, let me have an experience. They had gorgeous views. But the room, I have to report, caused me so much allergies. And I was wondering in the morning, am I allergic to the sheets? Or I'm allergic to the corporation of Hyatt, the corporation period, as a spiritual person. And that still is my question, that I don't have an answer as of right now. But gave me something to think about. So in the morning again, I'm leaving, okay, I'm leaving. I talked to the manager, I told her what happened, and I left, and I went to Old Creek Village. I got La Quinta Inn, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what? It's not Hyatt, but I have to say, was very clean. They have a continental breakfast. They have a swimming pool, small, doesn't matter. It's a good energy with the views on the mountains. Good, wonderful energy. I felt so good in that room. But still, I was driving like twice to Sedona, to the main strip, and you feel like you don't want to leave too soon. I was 3 days there, Trinity, 3 days, and my life path number is 3, so I love number 3. And I just felt like in 7 heaven. I don't know why they call that, like in heaven, okay? Felt really, really great, wonderful. But then, at some point you have to leave, okay? Now I have a next wonderful adventure, Grand Canyon. So as you can see, I'm even doing, this was from Life is Good place. We have nice stuff. And Sedona, Arizona, okay, with the heart. Just love the place. This material is even so soft. Reminds me of just that healing, powerful healing energy from a place with all these vortex points, which of course I visited. And also you can find on my channel, Grace Carter Maui, on YouTube, or Google Plus, which is for everybody. Grand Canyon, that was a great experience. I have to say, I was thrilled because you go to the rim, as they call the edge, the rim, and I figured, oh, if it's nothing, you know, nothing to hold on to it, no rails, so it's safe. So I'm going and I'm like, oh my God. Then I find out it's 5 Eiffel Towers down. Can you imagine that flight? Okay. And by the way, the Grand Canyon is 277 miles long. Wow, that's really something. So I've seen it, east, west, central, I've seen it all, took all the tours. Actually, by the buses, just to know what's going on, the blue, I already forgot, the blue, the something, different colors, red I remember. Been to Hermit's Nest, it's also on YouTube, and I loved it. The only problem was the weather. It was so windy and cloudy, so windy, that I was afraid it's gonna take me right to that canyon. So walking was not that pleasant. But can you imagine walking? And he's so far down, but he's so beautiful, like a magic. And you walking right on the edge. It's thrilling for everybody who likes adventure, walking, hiking, and still that thrill of a little danger. It's really good. It's really beautiful. And then the Rockies, going right to the top, being among the snow. So I didn't lose any winter on the East Coast. Still was snowy there. And Denver, Colorado. And from Denver on, it was beautiful. Kansas, I just realized that Kansas is like Poland, actually, almost. The countryside anyway. You're driving and driving on Route 70 East. And it's nothing. So I stop in one place, probably truck stop, that's for sure. I love truck stops. And I ask one of the gentlemen, and